Welcome to the Role of Immunity. I'm Coach Mary with Coreview Integrative Wellness Services. Today, you will be able to listen to a presentation on how we can boost and better understand our immune system, that wonderful opportunity to develop that deep, lasting relationship with your body to live the healthiest lifestyle absolutely possible. Thank you for joining me today. It is the goal of this presentation to draw greater awareness to the immune system. I don't know about you, friends, but I never really gave it a great deal of thought until COVID-19 came and we're going into the autumn season, thinking I might want to learn a little bit more, and I'm glad that you have stopped by to learn more as well. And after we learn a little bit more, then what steps are necessary to strengthen it to the best of your ability for you to live your healthiest lifestyle? The work I do with Coreview Coach is based on inspiration and encouragement for each individual to take the reins of personal health and well-being seriously, not just for one day, but creating sustainable, healthy habits long-lasting well into the future. This all begins with a deepened relationship with each of ourselves from the inside out, thus the name Coreview. What is your Coreview? You have a blank slate that you are able to create that life of your best dreams and desires. Why not start living it today? Just to put a little bit of understanding out there, what I do as an integrative wellness strategist, I am not a doctor, I am not a nutritionist nor dietitian. I am not sharing this information with you today to sell any supplements, essential oils, or other self-care products. What I am is a facilitator for conversations on bio-individuality for a healthier lifestyle. So let's get started. The immune system is a complex network of cells and organs that defend our bodies against infection. I like to think of it as a two-tiered personal army. The main parts of the immune system are our white blood cells, antibodies, a complement system, lymphatic system, our spleen, the bone marrow, and the thymus. The immune system is actually a learning system that needs data in it to function properly. We will learn more about that shortly. Here's the thing about the immune system that makes it so different and somewhat complicated to fully understand. You can hear and feel the beating of your heart, so you know it's working, right? Same way with the breath. Our bodies breathe air in and we exhale it out without even telling it to. And we can feel that air travel through our nostrils, filling our lungs, and then leaving our body on the exhale. Well, the immune system, it's different. It's silent. Like so much of our internal makeup, it is programmed to work as a supercomputer. We don't have to do anything. We just need to take care of our bodies as a castle. Even though we are much less aware of our immune system, it is at work 24/7, protecting us from thousands of potentially deadly attacks each and every day. So let's examine the different lines of defense used by the immune system to protect us. The first line of defense is known as innate immunity. This is a range of protective mechanisms we are all born with. I like to say it came with the packaging, but yet there is no owner's manual for us to really understand it. The innate immune system provides non-specific protection against various pathogens such as viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoans, and worms. A number of defense mechanisms serve the innate immune system, which includes physical barriers such as the skin, chemical barriers such as antimicrobial proteins that harm or destroy invaders, and cells that attack foreign cells and body cells harboring infectious agents. Before moving on to the second line of defense, let's delve a little deeper into the defense mechanisms of innate immunity. The skin is an external barrier made from layers of cells, serving as a protective barrier to infection. You know, guys, I think we look at this picture and we see a radiant woman with soft, supple skin. I don't know about you, but I'm not thinking that it's actually our superhero cloak that is the first line of defense for our innate protection. Not only does skin provide a protective barrier to keep invaders out, but it also secretes fatty acids and enzymes. The fatty acid oleic acid can kill certain bacteria, while the enzyme lysozyme can break down the outer wall of certain bacteria. Internally, there's a mucous membrane. It's in the linings of the respiratory and gastrointestinal and genitourinary tracts, and that provides a protective barrier of cells that are constantly being renewed. This membrane traps small particles to prevent them from attaching to the cells. So as we can see, there is so much that we're able to visualize on the outside with the protective barrier of our skin, but it's on the inside. It's at work 24/7, day in and day out. Another crucial aspect of innate immunity is chemical barriers to infection. When microbes penetrate the body's protective barriers and enter the internal tissues, they encounter a variety of chemical substances that attempt to prevent their growth. There are many mechanisms in cells by which chemicals work to harm or destroy invaders. These processes go beyond the scope of what we can discuss here. Just know that they are continually on the lookout for foreign invaders and ready to strike at any time. I know you may be thinking, this is a lot of technical information, and it is. But as your wellness strategist, I've researched a number of articles, and in the presentation notes, you will find links to all of those articles for you to take the time at your leisure to even continue your education on your immune system. The early induced responses are the final process of innate immunity we're really going to discuss today. Many of you are already familiar with this response, but may only have heard of the dangers it can pose. Yep, it's the word inflammation. How often do we hear reduce stress, reduce inflammation, eat an anti-inflammatory diet? So it's easy for us to naturally assign a negative feeling around the word inflammation, but in relation to our immune system, inflammation is a valuable tool for it to work well. Inflammation can eliminate infection or hold it in check until specific acquired immune responses have time for it to develop. Infection also often results, as we all know, in tissue damage, which may trigger inflammatory responses. And that sign of inflammation, it includes swelling and redness and fever. And all these are induced by chemicals released by the macrophages. Inflammation really is a healthy, protective immune system. It's when we allow the chronic stress that causes chronic inflammation that we get ourselves in trouble, and it makes the opportunity for chronic disease to develop. The second line of defense is called acquired immunity. I love acquired immunity. We all come to the dance with the packaging, as I like to refer our bodies to, with the innate immunity. But when we come to acquired immunity, you're going to see this is where our choices really impact what we can do to boost that immune system lifelong. Acquired is named as such because you are not born with it. It is acquired through exposure to pathogens. This line of defense is acquired, for example, from exposure to an infection or disease, or another person's antibodies. Think of your mother's milk at birth. When we nurse as infants, we're taking on antibodies through that mother's milk. It is well established that persons who contract certain diseases and survive generally do not catch those illnesses again. This is made possible through the mechanisms of acquired immunity. When your immune system is exposed to a pathogen, it learns to recognize it and can make your immune system better equipped to fight off that type of germ the next time you're exposed to it. So acquired immunity is dependent on the specialized white blood cells known as lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are the cells responsible for the body's ability to distinguish and react to an almost infinite number of foreign substances. These lymphocytes originate from stem cells in the bone marrow and can travel and multiply in response to appropriate stimulation. If you've heard the terms T cells or B cells, these are referring to different types of lymphocytes. Both T and B cells recognize and help eliminate foreign molecules, but they do so in different ways. Lymphocytes are distinguished from other cells by their capacity to recognize foreign molecules by means of receptor molecules. A receptor molecule is a special protein whose shape is designed to fit foreign molecules. Think of these molecules as a key that may fit into a lock. In your presentation notes, you will find a link to a video where you can actually see the filming of one of these receptors wrapping around that foreign invader and taking it out of action. It really is pretty nifty. Any foreign material that binds specifically to a receptor molecule is called an antigen. Antigens include molecules bound on invading microorganisms such as viruses, bacteria, protozoans, and fungi, as well as molecules located on the surface of foreign substances such as pollen, dust, or transplanted tissue. Certain antigens can induce an immune response when they bind to a receptor molecule. One of the absolutely incredible abilities of our immune system is that it keeps a record of every microbe it has ever defeated. Friends, just think about that. If we were to get a report each and every day, we would know and be able to keep track ourselves. But I believe there are so many, it's best that the immune system does all the record keeping for us. This enables the immune system to recognize and destroy the microbe quickly if it enters the body again before it can multiply and make you feel sick. However, some infections, like the flu and the common cold, have been fought many times because so many different viruses or strains of the same type of virus can cause these illnesses and the same symptoms. Therefore, catching a cold or flu, or potentially even today with COVID-19, these situations do not give you immunity against the others because of the rapid different strains in cold and flu, and we'll have to see how COVID works. Record keeping is how we acquire immunity through vaccinations. The immune system is triggered by a small amount of an illness to produce antibodies. This enables the body to quickly launch an immune attack to kill off the virus for future exposure. What we are exposed to dictates our acquired immunity. I'd like to say that again, my friend. What we are exposed to dictates our acquired immunity. For example, where we live, vaccinations given at birth, and our exposure to different environmental conditions, they all impact our ability to fight off various diseases. There is an interesting article in your presentation notes that References back in World War II, Finland ceded some land to Russia. And over the course of time, at this boundary, the land on Russia's side, the residents, they continued to live an ancestral, traditional type of lifestyle. Those Finnish residents on their side, they modernized their lands and became very urbanized, taking away many of the regular environment benefactors, those good bacteria that when we get our hands in. Well, at any rate, the studies show that allergic reactions and conditions on the Finnish side are much higher than they are on the Russian side. And so it is the suggestion that we acquire a lot of immunity when we're in different environmental conditions. I'm spending a little extra time on this particular nugget because of the condition that we live in today with COVID-19 in managing our personal protocols during a pandemic. We're encouraged to stay close to home, avoid large groups of people. It's important that we wear a face mask. It's important that we wash our hands. One of the challenges, though, that I'm going to share with you from a wellness point of view is that don't lose sight of the benefit of having good bacteria on your hands. Work in the dirt. Work with your food. Get fresh food from a local grower while you can. Get out into nature and let the air and the pollens and the sounds connect with nature to help build your immune system. Remember in the beginning I said our immune system is a learning system. It requires data in so it can function optimally. So that's where our connection with our environment is a really great way to boost that immune system. And as we all manage, hopefully not getting COVID, not getting a cold, not getting the flu, and going into cooler weather and shortened daylight hours, we need to do all we can now so that we are putting our immune system as a #1 priority. The immune system is like fingerprints. Because we are all exposed to different pathogens, we all have unique immune defenses. This means immune systems vary from person to person. Just as there is no one diet, there is no one exercise routine, though we came with all the original packaging like one another and we start out with all the same parts and bits and pieces, the immune system is impacted so dynamically in this acquired arena of immune system. No one person is the same. You are all bio-individually gifted, incredibly talented, and strong, healthy individuals. And that's our goal, right? While we all have similar innate responses, such as that skin barrier, that acquired immunity is vastly different. Get this, in fact, recent studies have found that our history and environment, like where and with whom we live, are responsible for 60 to 80% of the differences between individual immune systems, while genetics account for the rest. So just think about that, friend. If that is responsible for 60 to 80% of the differences, and the genetics only account for the rest, no matter what our choices were in the past, we can insert new choices in our daily life now and really begin giving positive encouragement to that immune system to really fight that frontline battle of fighting infection as it comes to our body. There are a couple of things, outliers, I will say, with the immune system. The first is some people have an overactive immune system, which can result in a number of conditions, including allergies and autoimmune diseases. I became very interested in immune health, especially as I have aged, because my mom, Alberta, She was diagnosed late in life with multiple sclerosis. And autoimmune diseases such as multiple sclerosis or type 1 diabetes or rheumatoid arthritis, those are where the immune system mounts a response against normal components of the body. That autoimmune disease is to blame. And so you may have a person in your family that is dealing with autoimmune health. Encourage them, as if they aren't already, what can they do from some of the tools you're going to find later in the presentation. But most importantly, what can you bring into your daily life so that your immune system continues to function at its best optimal level. But if you are a person that has allergic diseases, such as those allergies to foods and medications, or hay fever, dermatitis, and sinus infections, those conditions actually result when the immune system is too strong. It's overly strong, making its response to those allergens. And those are conditions for us to really be mindful of so that we manage them with the assistance of a healthcare provider. An underactive immune system, also known as immunodeficiency, does not function correctly and makes people vulnerable to infections. So it's a weakened immune system. People with these types of immune situations truly can, all these causes can arise as a result of a medical treatment or be caused by another disease, such as HIV, AIDS, or certain types of cancer. And again, when we're in an overactive or an underactive immune system, and frankly, whenever we're going to dynamically change some of our daily life patterns, I truly encourage you to speak openly with your healthcare practitioners so that they're aware of what you're doing and conditions you're dealing with, and have them be a partner for your health, not only a diagnoser of symptoms. So what can we do? This presentation is the result of members that do receive the Coreview Coach Toolbox Tuesday newsletter who are interested in the immune system. I think primarily right now, I, and along with others, we are interested in the immune system in its relation to fighting COVID. COVID is a serious situation that our society is dealing with, but so are colds, so are our flu, so is pneumonia, all other kinds of diseases. As you have noticed in this conversation, that immune system is working right now, fending off some type of bacteria that may be trying to enter your body while you're learning about what you can do with it. So there's never a better time than the day you decide to strengthen your health plan, but let's really focus on our immune system for total health. Let's take a look at some ways to strengthen it. The ability to boost that immune system function is super complex, as you can tell just by my comments earlier, and you will learn more in the show presentation notes. It requires balance and harmony among the whole parts of our body. And there's an interconnectedness of the immune system with all of our organs and everything else that's going on in the body. Remember, we get to live inside a supercomputer that is functioning without us even being aware of all that it's doing on our behalf. And that's the gift that we're given with these one-time use bodies, so that we can share our gifts in the world and really live that life that brings our best self forward to do the best work possible, to make the world around us absolutely the most generous, kind, and loving environment possible. So let's take a look at some effects of lifestyle that are researched that can give your immune system a boost. Some of you already know me, and it will not be a surprise, but your first defense is to live a healthy lifestyle. Now, that's easy for even me to say as an integrative wellness strategist, but even as a strategist, I need to remind myself daily of living that healthy lifestyle. And I'm sure that when you look at your own life, there are areas that are available for improvement. Here's the deal. Not only will your immune system benefit, but every other part of your body will function better by following these following tips. Go back to the beginning of the presentation, gang. Remember, our immune system is a silent partner. So as we bring these types of tips into our lifestyle, you're not going to get a handwritten note from your immune system saying thank you. Where you will find the benefactor is in your muscles, strengthening your bones, improving the airway, keeping a modified weight, and just being able to live the most active life that you choose. So the first tip is do not smoke. That's a pretty easy one, I think, in today's society, but maybe you are a smoker. And if so, I would encourage you right away to reach out and do all you can to take smoking out of your lifestyle. The second is to eat a diet high in fruits and vegetables. You've heard me, if you follow Coreview Coach, you have heard me say repeatedly, eat that 5 colors a day mindset. Yep, 5 colors. 5 fingers on one hand. Count them. Red, green, purple or blue, orange and yellow. If you were to eat those 5 colors daily, you're going to be bringing in those fruits and vegetables that your body can really work off of. In particular, for your immune system, citrus fruits are very important. Vitamin C is crucial for the immune system to function properly. But let us not forget broccoli and red bell peppers, fresh ginger, fresh garlic, hearty spinach, Greek yogurt with their active cultures, and salt-free, oil-free almonds. And then a movement plan. Exercise regularly is very and vitally important. And it doesn't have to be anything over the top. You can figure this out as to what fits your body style at this particular age that you're at, or maybe where you live. And again, with COVID, you may be restricting your movement away from your home. So my suggestion, first line defense, is considering yoga as the tool to boost your immune system. Yoga not only is a good booster for your immune system, but it will bring flexibility and blood flow to your body that sets a foundation of greater safety for whatever other sport and athletic endeavors you should choose, whether that is active house cleaning or even gardening. Yoga will assist with that. Yoga is known for countless reasons of being a health benefit. It reduces stress. It increases our flexibility and mobility. It makes us stronger. And there's a spiritual connection. And in these days, I believe that when we have a good-rooted spiritual connection within ourselves, within our physical body, it helps us manage everything else that's going on and connect even deeper within ourselves. And yoga just allows us to reclaim our gifted bodies. So ultimately, coming to yoga for resilience, both inside and out, yoga for immunity is a thing. And a consistent yoga practice is something that will benefit you lifelong. Some poses to consider that I would recommend is a forward fold in the morning and at night, allowing the upper body to drape away from the frame, putting some blood activity into the brain as your head is below your heart, keeping in mind if you have blood pressure or heart conditions, forward fold is not the best. Really bend the knees so you keep your head elevated. And then cobra, lifting that heart center up, allowing the back muscles to get involved. Revolved twisted chair, bringing out the digestion, your digestive tract. And then legs up the wall to, again, allow the body fluids to flow in a different direction and really permeate every cell along the way. And then always working on balance daily. All really super good. They also will help deal with that inflammation. Maintaining a healthy weight is key. whether it's you're thinking your immune system or any other health condition you may be managing. Friends, check in with your weight today. I encourage each of you to do that. As we go into the fall, while the weather is still good and comfortable outside, pick up maybe a little more walking. Go ahead and take off those couple extra pounds that COVID indoors may have added to you. Strengthen those muscles the best we can, because we're going to go back inside, especially those of us living in central Illinois, or if you live in any part of the country that has winter. Now's the time. Take advantage. Autumn is a month of preparation for the winter months when we really rest and slow down. If you drink alcohol, drink only in moderation. And then get adequate sleep. Sleep is an important prescription for good health. And as it relates to the immune system, and with the immune system dealing with inflammation and infection, it's during our sleep that the immune system releases proteins called cytokines. Some of those help promote sleep, yeah. And certain cytokines need to increase when you have an infection or inflammation. So when you're sleep deprived, you are reducing and decreasing the production of these protective buddies. So take time to make sure we're going to bed at the same time every night and getting up at the same time every morning. Taking steps to avoid infection is super valuable, right? And it is another frontline defense is washing your hands frequently. I mentioned earlier a little bit of the double-edged sword. I'm not discouraging anyone from washing your hands with frequency, especially as we manage COVID protocols. It's very, very important. Just as using hand sanitizer is very, very important. But pre-COVID, science was already demonstrating that we had become an antibacterial society. And by washing away with frequency the good bacteria, we were actually putting our immune system and the function of our body optimally at risk in some situations. So when we venture away from our home, when we bring things into our home, we need to really, really make sure that we are washing those hands for a good 20 to 30 seconds or sing happy birthday while you do that, and use hand sanitizer and wipe down door handles on your car, coming in and out of the house, etc. But when you're in your home, when you're in your safe spaces, find ways to have your hands get dirty or get out in the air. So like I said earlier, the Mother Nature's breath is on your skin, and allow that good bacteria to adhere itself to your body. Remember, the immune system is a learning system, and it requires that connection. And then try to minimize stress as much as you possibly can. All right, gang, let's talk about stress for just a moment. I shared earlier about the environmental article between Finland and Russia. And so that goes back to the environmental side. But let's go ahead and go back to just chronic stress. So like the Finnish, they were living in that particular article in a highly urbanized and modernized area. So they're in buildings a lot more is what it's led to. And think of you now, going back to COVID. We're inside a lot more. We're told not many things not to do. Even if pre-COVID you would identify as a low stress person, today the world is so upside down, and we're managing so many volatile conversations on a societal level. We all have more stress in our life than we did pre-COVID. So even if we don't realize that we have more stress, let me assure you, friends, it's pretty rare if that person is you that you don't. Just turning on the headlines or thinking about not being able to visit family or wishing you had a group of friends that would come into your home. There's a subliminal layer of stress that's entering our bodies all of the time. So take time to set up a meditation or a mindfulness practice. And I encourage you to really set aside at least 15 minutes a day just to be silent in your mind and focus on your breath. Breathe in with those positive, gentle terms and words, and exhale anything that you're holding on to. And a practice like that will automatically reduce the stress in your life. And then it helps our bodies manage the inflammation that's going on inside. Well, it's been well established. I just talked about that 5-color-a-day diet. And if you look at this picture, you're going to see there are at least 4 of those colors right there in one meal. So it is pretty easy to do if we're intentional about it. But I want to talk about diet and your immune system for a moment. When we're under chronic stress, we don't often make the best choices. We don't often regularly consume the way the body needs to be adequately fueled. Depending on what your lifestyle is, you may still be exercising at a really high level, but then you go right to your office in your home to work. So it's like, I got to hurry up and get on the computer. Being mindful of your daily food intake is really important. But I also want to talk about as we age, and this is very important because I know there are many on the line that are going to listen to this that are aging, and actually, aren't we all? It's a good thing, right? We don't want the counter to that, right? But as we age, or if we're under a great deal of stress, micronutrient malnutrition is very possible to occur. And when we become malnourished, I mean, we can look at one another in the mirror or ourselves in the mirror and say, I'm not going to starve today. And that's probably true, right? You are eating, but are you well nourished? So there's a difference in not going to starve today and being malnourished. So as opposed to having a bag of M&Ms or a bowl of popcorn, are we getting those 5 colors? Because we want to make sure that we're absorbing the minerals and the vitamins out of the diet. So we're looking to make sure we've got good zinc and selenium and iron, copper, folic acid, and all of the vitamins A, B6, C, and E to help our immune system function properly. It needs that. So if you suspect that you may not be getting the micronutrient needs, and here's a couple of little trigger points if this is happening in your home, that you recognize you're losing some of your sense of taste and smell, and it's an age-related, it's not a COVID thing. This is going on as we age and those functions do start to diminish. Or you're losing interest in preparing meals for you that bring you all of that nutritious value. Then I really, again, would encourage you to reach out to your healthcare provider and share that this is a daily life pattern. It's not a matter that you feel that you're ill, but you want to boost your health as best as you can, and see if they would recommend a particular daily multivitamin or a mineral supplement that could increase the power of your immune system. Again, communicating openly and transparently with our healthcare professionals is very important for them to guide us in the best possible way. Stress in that immune system, we've talked about that a bit here, and we no longer necessarily have the busy social calendars and the always on kind of mindset. But as I said earlier, we need to minimize stress always, because it just increases the inflammation, and it can just lead to that never-ending list of diseases and illnesses that we're working by taking ownership to our health strategy. We want to do away with dealing with those different types of diseases and illnesses that can range from depression to heart attack. So we want to regularly participate in those activities that we can bring into the daily life to reduce that stress. I'm going to leave you on that one. That's really, really important. So if you have questions after you listen to this presentation today, reach out. I'm here. Just email me at mary@coreviewcoach.com and I'll get back with you right away. Look below in the show notes here and you're going to find a whole list of references that you now can take at your leisure, empower yourself, try to learn something new that you can insert into your daily life to strengthen your health plan and your strategy for living a life of your dreams and desires. I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join me for this experience. The topic of immunity is vital to our health, and the more we know about how our body works, the better equipped we are to defend ourselves from disease. Again, if you think of any questions in the future, please contact me again at mary@coreviewcoach.com. If you're interested in learning more about a health strategy to incorporate into your daily life, you can also reach out either by email or call 309-657-8722 for a free complimentary consultation. Now it's your turn. Get up and get out, guys. Live your life. Fill it with laughter and love. Spread that laughter and love to those around you. Together, we can make the world a kinder and gentler place. So again, as I leave you today, if you found this information of interest, thank you. I really appreciate it. If there are topics in the future that you would like Coreview Coach to tape and put up online for you to learn from or join a Zoom call, let me know. Reach out. If you have family or friends that may be interested in this information, feel free to share this link with them. I'd sure love you to follow me on Facebook or Instagram. And if you aren't already signed up for the Toolbox Tuesday newsletter, visit my website at www.coreviewcoach.com and say, contact me, and I'll get you on that list right away. Should you be aware of a business that may have interest learning more about implementing wellness as a business strategy, or an individual that may be interested in also a complementary strategy session, please feel free to pass along my contact information.